Yeah. What is up? It's
What up, though?
I.O.W. Sports. Here we are again. It's episode 217, but is a very, very special episode because this is our third time doing this.
Right.
This is our AFC NFC Championship preview edition where we get a summit. Yes, we're going to have a summit of podcasters coming together. And we're going to do what we do. We're going to talk our shit. We're going to drop our hot takes. And it's all going to be gears towards AFC NFC Championship preview. And of course, hey, we're going to talk football. That's what we're here to do. And without further ado, y'all know who's in the championship games, right? Y'all know who's in there. It's the San Francisco 49ers. Let's take a look at some of their highlights in the playoffs.
Bang bang Niner gang. 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 Against all odds, weather the storm, built for combat and battle. Young hyenas in uniform. We play no games with the opposition.
Yeah, so just a few highlights of the 49ers, but here to represent for the 49ers, we got our man, Gary. How you doing, my brother?
How you doing, guys? How you doing? Good evening,
What up,
good morning,
though?
good afternoon. How you guys?
Good, man.
Gary, take a quick second. Plug all your content. Let the people know where they can find you. Go ahead, Gary.
Okay, my handle's here, Groovy. That's 4 R's, 6 O's, 3 V's. There's a real long story about that when I first started playing online games way back in the
If
day.
we got time, we need to hear that story.
We've got to get into that. But I'm on Let's Talk Sports with Dan. I do a load of shows for him. I do some 49ers content. I do some EPL soccer content for him. We're about to kick off a Formula One show as the new season comes up for that. I'm also on Variety Sports Networks. I do a kind of show with those guys called Football from Across the Pond, because you may have noticed that the accent is that I'm not from the US, so I kind of get a few of the football fans from the UK, and we'll kind of get together and chat and kind of give football a slant, but with an accent from the UK. It's kind of a bit different. So anyway, you can get me, and I'm on YouTube, and I've got everything links to that handle, so you can find me on all the different social networks.
Bet. Love it. Boney Wiley. And then, of course, in that NFC Championship game, it's going to be the San Francisco 49ers taking on, the team from the Philly, them Dirty Birds.
Ain't this what they've been waiting for? You ready? I used to pray for times like this, to rhyme like this, so I had to grind like that, to shine like this. In a matter of time I spent on some locked up in the back of the paddy wagon, cuffs locked on wrist. See my dreams unfold, nightmares come true. It was time to marry the game, and I said, yeah, I do. If you want it, you gotta see it with a clear eye view. Got shorty, she try and bless me like I said I do. Like a sneeze, please for them trick and squeeze, I'm getting cream. Never let them get in between of what we started. Look, but I'm lying hearted, they love me.
And then, of course, representing them Philadelphia Eagles, we got my man, Cool. What's up with you, bruh?
What up, man? What up? Now I gotta have a little beef with you about the intro video, sir. Because I don't see no beef
Already started.
11 in there. You can't do a video and not throw number 11 in there. Swole Batman gotta be in there, bro. That's all I'm saying. I love the video, I love the music, but you got to put the Swole Batman in there, baby. You got to.
I got you. Next time we do it. Look. So this what it needs. This what needs to happen. Cool. Next time. So next year, You got to talk to Eagles and you got to say, hey, make sure y'all in the championship game again because I need to be back on I.O.W. Sports, and Wildcard Mar is going to make a better intro music for my boys. That's all I'm going to say. If you take care of that and they do that, I'm going to do that. I got you.
That seems fair. That seems fair.
Hey, like I say, the music was amazing. I love the highlights. But you just got to have 11. Got to have AJ Brown in there.
Hold on a second. Hold on. I'm going to cut you off. Fuck you, Ant. Okay, go ahead.
You had to sneak. Oh, you had to sneak that in there.
Yeah, you know, Ant gonna talk about why Mel in here. You know what I'm saying? He started already. He can't come on and say what up.
First of all,
it's barely 9. Shit's like 5-6 minutes old when they already started.
First of all, Anthony is a Washington football team fan. I mean, Washington Commanders. I mean, Washington. Whatever name y'all call yourselves, he's a fan of Washington. So therefore, there's a lot that he can really talk about, right? Don't you think so? There's not a lot that he can really talk about.
I mean,
anyway.
They've got a new mascot, right?
He can't say he was in the best division of football this year. He can say that.
Well, that's the only thing that they could.
Okay, he can say.
You're right. All right.
But once you get past
the worst team of the best division.
And then of course,
Dan Snyder's porno flick.
Yo, please don't.
Oh, my bad.
No,
go ahead.
No. Dan Snyder don't need to do anything in that kind of realm at all. He's in enough
sell
trouble.
Up and get out, that man.
Yes, exactly. And then of course, in that AFC Championship game, you got them gals in Cincinnati Bengals.
The Ohio players.
All right. Yeah, dig this back. Funk upon a time, back in the day, when all the Funketeers came out to play. Temperatures rising, got my body heat up, my afro sagging, but I don't give a fuck. Yeah.
Welcome to the middle when it met where it's cold out here and we hustle all year. Y'all motherfuckers better know where it's at we on. Yeah. This that Ohio shit. Smoking till I'm high, getting money till I die. Getting hair from my Ohio bitch, she got that. You was still around here.
And representing for them Cincinnati Bengals, we got our man Big Mike.
Yo, what's going on, man? I was loving that. I was bouncing around to that.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
That was dope.
Hey, Mike, go ahead, drop all your social media content where people can find you at, big dog.
Hey, listen, man, Man Cave Media all over the place. Got at the Man Cave 8172 on YouTube, at the Man Cave 10 on Twitter and TikTok. You know, come and join our shows Wednesdays and Fridays, man. We'd love to have y'all.
We there. And then of course, my player, I know him from another Facebook group. He's a Cincinnati Bengals head, so I promise I let him jump up in this joint. Shout out to my man Black Star DD Ray. What's up with your boy?
What's going on with you guys? Hey, y'all can hear me okay? I ain't pulled this.
Yeah, we hear you. What's up with you? But anyway, my man Cool just stepped out for a minute. I think that was him right there. There you are. Cool. Hey, real quick, Cool. Go ahead and drop all your social media stuff while your people can find you at, big dog.
Y'all got time?
Go ahead, man. We got time.
All right. So on Tuesday nights, for the remainder of the football season, I'm gonna do some stuff around the draft and different stuff like that. I have a NFL matchup madness show. We basically have a rep covering every team. We do have the Detroit Lions and the Kansas City Chiefs open. And you know, so we got that happening.
Hey, just tell us what you need, bro.
Right.
So we cover all the games. We're gonna switch it up next year. It's gonna be more like videos, and then we're just gonna highlight primetime games like Thursday night, Monday night, Sunday night. We're gonna first week do every team, middle of the season do every team last week, but in between, it's gonna be dropping videos every week. That way, it's a little bit easier on the people, and then you still can get that, you know, that information out there. Then if you want to throw those videos on your own joints as well, feel free to. But that's that Wednesday nights year round. Eagles Elite Podcast, youtube.com/@Eagles Elite Podcast. We're only on YouTube because we want the people that want to come to us, come find us. You know, it's not hard, but just come find us. All Eagles all the time. We do discuss some of the other teams. We get the playoffs, matchups, stuff like that. But Eagle centric, baby. That's what it's all about.
Heard that.
Going to be doing a for my network, Sports Empire Network. Shout out them as well. We're going to be doing a wrestling show at 8 p.m. on Tuesday nights, and we're going to start after the Royal Rumble. We're still working on the specifics, but we're going to be doing a wrestling show where we just talk A.W., WWE, Ring of Honor, New Japan, Impact, whatever's out there. Nothing Thursday. Friday nights, Play Call Sports Talk Show. It's the same channel as the NFL Matchup Madness. That's playcallsportstalk.com/live. That's 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. So, check that out as well. Saturday night is during the season, back on the Eagles Elite channel. You can check out the NFC Beast, talk all things NFC East. Cowboys, Commanders, Giants.
About the Cowboys. That's a short
they in the division. You know what I'm saying? They in the division. And then also on Friday nights on the Sports Empire Network, Top of the Key basketball show.
Okay.
And then talking about the hoops as well. So let's get ready to kick into big things. And that's 9 p.m. So a lot of different things going on, man. But probably more to come.
Busy man.
Yeah. You sound like a church
like
schedule.
James Brown. No, he sound like a Jamaican, dog.
Monday night journey through the Bible. Wednesday night for prayer.
Sunday school.
Right.
Yeah, Sunday school, church choir. We got the deacons meeting, got the ushers meeting. Anyway.
Junior usher board.
Right.
Yeah, usher board, deacon board, we got all that. But no, we appreciate everybody here. Unfortunately, I don't have a Chiefs representative here yet. He will be here soon. But of course,
they're out there somewhere.
Yeah, no, y'all see the hat. I can always fill in. But anyway, let's get down to the nitty-gritty of this business. We got the NFC Championship game. Let's preview that one first. And so we're gonna kick it to my man Gary. Kind of go through how the 49ers got here. What are some of the things that they excelled at, and what do you, as a podcaster that specifies on the 49ers, what are some of the weaknesses you think they have? But overall, just give me a quick overall on the 2022-2023 season of your San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, it's been a season of 2 seasons, right? The first half of our season stank. We had a stinker. The game against Chicago, which was kind of like everyone should have just turned up in a wetsuit. It was horrible.
Yeah.
Right. So you just ignore that game. Then we had the Trey Lance, half a game against Seattle. He goes down. He's the face of our franchise. We sold the house for him, trade picks, everything else, and then he goes. We have to go back to Jimmy, and everyone's like, here we go. What happens now? Jimmy comes in, balls out for a few games. Fair play to the guy, balled out. Apart from the game against Denver, which nobody talks about anymore, right? We've all wiped our memory of that hideous game against Denver. That was the worst game of football ever. And from a UK perspective, we had to stay up. That started at 1:30 a.m. for us to stay up and watch that game. So that was hardcore for us to watch that to the end, to see how that ended. It was bad.
Man, see how bad that game was. You should have just rolled over to your booty call.
If only we knew. If only we knew beforehand, right?
Right.
And fair play, we got handed our backsides against the Chiefs at home. And we ended up like week 7, 3-4. The season was looking rocky.
That's the last time you lost.
That's the last game we lost because we got handed our backsides, and the front office went out and went, we need to make changes. And the one thing that changed our season is we went to the Panthers and we went, how much will it take? And they made the call before anybody else. But, they jumped the gun. They maybe got ahead of a few other teams, and they paid them money. And I remember it thinking, week 8, going into the Rams, and we were like, is that too much for Christian McCaffrey? Did we overspend? Has it been? And then since then, he has just been the jack of all trades, pocket knife, Swiss Army knife, whatever you want to call him. The man has just ignited the season. We've not lost. We've not looked back. Even then, now we're on our 3rd string quarterback, who's the rookie, who's the last pick in the draft, and we all know the story, and it's starting to become a little bit like, okay, you can stop banging the drum about Mr. Irrelevant being relevant and yada yada. I mean, it's not going to happen. The NFL media is not going to give that up. But he stepped into a great scheme that Kyle Shanahan's put together with so many offensive weapons around him that he's looked comfortable. And yes, he's had 4 years at college and he's a lot more experienced than Trey Lance and all of those sorts of things. But he's stepped into the perfect situation for just, for a rookie to walk into in this scenario.
Yeah. Perfect scenario.
Situation. Yeah, I mean, the defense has obviously been, flying high. First, number one defense, apart from that one game against the Chiefs. And I think the Chiefs was a real wake-up call across the board for the organization. The defense stepped up, the offense stepped up, and we've just kind of balled out since then. I do think our secondary is still a weakness. Our DB, everyone's targeting Diomedor Lenoir since Mooney Ward's come in, but I think Mooney's been a little bit off in towards the tail end of the season. So I think our front four really need to step up against that beastly offensive line that the Eagles have. That O-line is a beast for the Eagles, so that's going to be where the battle is. But I think we're still slightly weaker in the secondary. I think our linebackers and our front four line up against anybody. But I think
your front seven is ridiculous.
It's just insane. You can the fact we've only really got 2 All Pros out of that one is just beyond me. I don't know why we haven't got more, but I think Dre Greenlaw's deserved the shout for Pro Bowl. But that's my own sort of rose-tinted glasses, obviously. But I think our QB2 might be a weakness, and maybe Jimmy Ward losing his head and giving away stupid penalties like he did against Seattle at the end of the first half is just one of those sort of risks that we've got.
Man, good synopsis on the San Francisco 49ers that you had right there. Let me ask you this, Gary. How much do you feel, in your opinion, is it the system, and how much do you think is it Brock Purdy?
Yeah, I'd say it's probably 75-80% the system, because Jimmy ran that system, got us to the Super Bowl against the Chiefs, got us to the NFC Championship game, got us to those positions with that kind of system in place. I think Brock Purdy's kind of opened up a little bit more of the system because he's you've seen it in a couple of games. He's actually more mobile than Jimmy ever was. Yep. Barring the first year that we had Jimmy before his first knee operation. He's looking to me like 2018 Jimmy before the first knee op. And Jimmy then balled out for us in those 5 games at the end of the season, suddenly turned our organization around. Suddenly we had hope and he looked like the man, and then he busted his knee and he's never quite been the same. I think Brock's looking like that. He's got the flexibility. He can keep plays open. He doesn't have the ceiling that Trey Lance seems to have from a potential point of view. And the arm strength isn't there, and maybe some of the physicality and some of the, natural athleticism. Right. But he's taken the system and he's excelling in it, but he's also expanding on it a little bit more than Jimmy was. So it's kind of a majority system, but he's playing the system and he's using the talents that he's worked for. Yeah.
Hey, I know, because there's a lot of people they're gonna jump on Purdy. Oh man, he's a game manager. Well, I mean, let's be honest. Yes, it's the system. I mean, you as a quarterback, you got the chance to succeed in the Shanahan system with Kyle Shanahan. He's going to put you in good spots. Yes, you're surrounded by Debo. Yes, you're surrounded by George Kittle. Yes, you got CMC, but you still have to make the plays, and Brock's make the plays, and he hasn't turned the ball over. Right. Something needs to be said about that. He hasn't turned the ball over. We're going to bring my man Cool in. Cool. Give us a breakdown of the 2022 and the 2023 Philadelphia Eagles, my man.
Man, it's been a tale like 4 seasons for the Eagles, right? We had the amazing start. We started out last team undefeated. Us and Miami were there. And then Tua got the injury, and that just propelled us to be the team that everybody started talking about, which is cool. But we don't like a lot of positive things said about us. Too much positivity from everybody gets on our nerves. So then we ran up
used to it.
Yeah, we don't like that, man. That's a negative almost for us. So we get to the Commanders game, right? Come off the Texans game, feeling good. We get to the Commanders game, they beat us. People say, "Oh, the Eagles got beat. They're gonna be like the Steelers a few years ago. They can't come back." Listen to their press conference. Our leader, QB1, said straight up, "Hungry dogs run harder." Commanders made us hungry again. So after that, we go out against the Colts. We play the worst game we played this year, including the losses, and we still win 17-16. Right? We start another streak. We beat the Packers. We decimate the Titans in the A.J. Brown's game. We decimate the Giants, right? We beat the Bears in a game that should have been nowhere near as close as it was, but it was. You know, QB1 gets hurt at the end of the in the third quarter of the Bears game, plays the whole fourth quarter. Next week, we don't play him. Personal opinion, he's not really hurt. They just didn't want to risk any further injury, so they kept him out, feeling like we could win with Gardner Minshew. Big mistake. Completely different quarterback from Jalen Hurts. You can't ask a non-mobile quarterback to go in and run the RPO that Jalen Hurts was running. They ended up being a loss against the Cowboys. Their offensive line was good. Their defensive line was porous. They allowed us to put up way more points than they should have allowed us to put up. It's a game we could have won, but there were several games in that first part of the season we could have lost. So not crying about it at all. Go up against the Saints. We did the same thing again, expect a different result. Most people said it's insanity. I tend to agree. So we come down to the last game of the season. Got to put QB1 back in. We beat the Giants 22-16. Their backups look great. Everybody's, barely beat the Giants backups. You know, if they play the Giants in the playoffs, they're going to get beat, and they're not going to be very good because they barely beat backups. So we get to play the Giants again in the divisional round, and we remind everybody who we really are. And that's how we this NFC Championship game. And, of course, you hear a bunch of talk from everybody. All the Eagles haven't played anybody. The Eagles have one of the worst schedules in the league.
Right, that's us.
I think y'all are 32 and we're 31, right? So
yeah. Strength of schedule, when you play what's in front of you.
But you're not going to hear that about the 49ers because they don't want that part of the narrative out about the 49ers. For the 49ers, they want to focus on Brock Purdy. And that I'm not mad at them. I understand why you're doing it, right? Because that's the great story. As long as he lasts, that's the great story. So the problem with this game for both of us is we beat the 49ers. What does everybody say? Oh, you ain't really beat nobody. They had a third-string quarterback. You know, they had this. You know, they had these injuries. They this, they that. That's the only reason you won the game. 49ers beat us. Oh, you ain't beat nobody. The Eagles have played the second worst schedule to y'all. We've been saying all year they didn't really play nobody. When they played a good team, they were going to lose. So the narrative for both of us is a chip on your shoulder. Whoever wins this game, you get an automatic chip on your shoulder going into the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Right.
You got a question for Cool?
Who, me?
You got a question?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Oh, yeah. I was just because I had to take notes because my memory ain't as good as it used to be. Jalen Hurts, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. I was kind of down at him talking, about how he's forcing him to throw. He's not gonna throw that well. He's actually been looking good this year. What do you think is his improving his game the way he's throwing? Because for me, I thought that was gonna be his weakness. Just let him throw, stop the run. Y'all can beat the Eagles. He actually been throwing pretty good.
It's dedication to the craft, man. If you think about it, a lot of quarterbacks make a huge jump from their first to second year as a starter. We this is his third year, but his first year he had a couple of crappy games that he played in when Carson Wentz was just playing like super garbage. They still let him play when he was playing garbage. He had to turn to super garbage before they finally sit him down.
Right.
And we've seen since then that's the right thing that they should have done. But
super garbage.
Yeah, super garbage.
Basura smet.
Super garbage.
We can even go this far, bro. When you have trash and you have that juice that's been sitting in the bottom when it rains, up in there, and it all gets in there. He's that juice at the bottom, that trash juice. That's what he is. All the time in the world, that trash juice.
That collective just straight.
Yeah, nasty. You got to dump the trash can and spray it to get out. That's what he is. But other than that, man, for Hurts, man, he went out. He's been mentored by Peyton, so he's got Peyton that he could talk to help him with things. He really got some quarterback coaches, worked out, stayed in the film room, dedicated himself. He worked out with the receivers in the offseason. He got his best friend playing wide receiver for him. I mean,
that was a huge trade for you boys. Yeah. That was huge.
Right.
Dude, I see this trade on draft night, and I got to tell you, I saw it. I was like, oh. I'm not even gonna lie. I was that excited, bro, because I knew you put him on this team already. What we already had coming back, it was gonna be a good year for us.
Right.
But he did improve more than I thought. So I'm not gonna sit here and say, "Oh, I knew Jalen Hurts was gonna be an MVP candidate this year." I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I knew he would be better, but the amount better that he got definitely impresses me. And I'm like, what is he gonna do from year 3 to year 4, or his second year as a starter to his third year as a starter? Because there's still room for growth. and he's much better. He doesn't turn the ball over much. You think he had, I think, 6 turnovers, interceptions, excuse me. And I think like 2 of those weren't even on him. Really 3, because Quez had 2 that wasn't really on Jalen Hurts. You got to fight for the ball. And then A.J. Brown had the one over the shoulder that he should have caught, but the guy took from him. So you think about half the interceptions he has aren't really on him, but we're going to count all 6 because I'm not one of them people to say, oh, it's only counts on the quarterback if it's his fault.
I don't know, cool.
You got to take them all. You got to take them all
because
they saved you too. Wide receiver saved you when you throw something that just really should be. So you take the other ones.
No, because I could blame some interceptions on Tyreek Hill that are on Patrick Mahomes' stat sheet. I mean, I'm just saying.
I take them all, bro. I take them all because, like I say,
I take them rough with the smooth, right?
Yeah.
What do you think?
The boys batted down and saved them from having. So I'll take the couple that they let happen, as long as you save them from the other ones. We good.
Hey, cool. What do you think about AP's comment? He said you think Jalen Hurts is worth 4 years, $265 million.
I hope we don't have to pay that man $265 million for 4 years. But at the end of the day, Micah Parsons asked the question: is it Jalen Hurts or is it the team? So we put another quarterback in there. We found out quickly it was Jalen Hurts.
Yep.
So hopefully,
I think we found that out.
Yo, man. Work with the squad a little bit.
Especially coming from a guy that's at talking to his travel agent right now.
Right.
Just saying.
I just say, you just slide and be like, yo, maybe let us get about 10 off a year or something, so we could use that to keep some of these other pieces around you. But I mean, it's gonna cost. It's gonna cost. Hopefully, it ain't that high, but it's gonna cost. I mean, you're gonna have to pay.
Gonna have to pay.
Hey,
if you can.
If he gets paid before Lamar Jackson, ooh, we baby.
All I gotta tell you,
Baltimore.
Hey, all I gotta tell you is get your popcorn ready. Because see, Jalen got another year on his rookie deal. So if they also go to him and say, Jalen, we'll extend you and we'll absorb that year your rookie deal, so we can spread that money out more.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, Matt won't Jalen Hurts.
He just want Jalen Hurts.
Okay, man. I understand.
Just want everybody.
I understand.
I don't know about that comment, Matt.
Hey, so I'm gonna open the floor up. I'm gonna open up the floor up. Joining us as well, we got my man Tanner, who's the chief representative. Tanner, how you doing, bro?
No, not Tanner.
What's up, guys?
How you doing, Tanner?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you guys for letting me on.
Hey, Tanner, real quick, go ahead, drop all your content where your people can find you at my
guys, you can find me on the Whiskey Sports Podcast. Actually got a cool interview with Lonnie Martz Jr. Later tonight, former KC Chief. So that's gonna be fun. You can also find me on the Sports Buffoons. We're live every Wednesday. 3 guys of us. We just talk a bunch of sports here. We did a pretty big Chiefs deal last night. So, that's where you guys can find me.
Word. Thank you for joining us. So I'm going to open this up. My man, Big Mike. Hey, how do you see this NFC Championship game going down, my guy?
Look, I love the Eagles. I love the Eagles big time in this. And the reason why is it's a lot of Brock Purdy because, again, third stringer, last pick in the draft, whatever they say about that. But he doesn't make mistakes, right? Because he doesn't get pressured. Trent Williams is blocking for him. That O-line stands up for him a little bit. But I think they're going to get pressure. I think they're going to make him move. And once they make him move around outside that pocket, I think he's going to throw some interceptions. And them Eagles are going to fly right to that end zone with that ball. But then you turn it to the other side. You got Hurts. Again, like my man Cool said, that man has jumped dramatically in talent-wise and how he's done his whole game. And he's got 2 running backs he could just rely on. He doesn't – when the pressure starts coming, you hand it off to Gaineswell. You got Sanders. And my guy, the key in all this, because Dallas Goedert is the main key. A.J. Brown, Dante Smith will take him down the field, but Goddard's going to come across that middle while everybody else is watching everywhere else. Because Warner's going to step up and stop Hurts from moving and stop them running backs. Then you have Goddard right across the middle, wide open, and bam, he's going to go right down the field. It's going to be like a Kelsey game. You're going to have 14 receptions, 100 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Eagles going to fly.
I like Big Mike. I like Big Mike a lot.
My man Big Mike.
Can we get rid of Big Mike?
Hey, my man Black Star DD Ray, man. Hey, give us your take on this NFC Championship game.
My team has been to 2 Super Bowls, and the same team, or 3, but the same team beat us in the first 2, and that's the team I'm picking to win. I think going across the middle with Goddard, Fred Warner's a freak of nature. I watched him cover CeeDee Lamb down the field on Sunday, like from the linebacker spot. Nick Bosa from the world famous Ohio State University. You know,
oh my God, take him off here. He missed Ohio State.
Don't make me
Yeah, I just want to say real quick.
Go ahead.
Matthew, I think you are a closet Eagles fan, bro. And you know what? Come on, hop on the bandwagon, bro. We getting ready to try to make some things happen. Go on, hop on the bandwagon. And Man Down Sports, appreciate you too, bro. Matthew, I get it. You really a closet.
Yeah, what's up, Mel?
I won't tell nobody.
Mel in here. Yeah, hey, Mel from Men Down Sports. Good people. If y'all ever get a chance to connect with him, dope guy, dope guy. Matter of fact, hey Tanner, I got some backup for you. All right. Now, you know, I normally don't do this, but I got the ultimate backup for you. All right. Joining us, my man from the Spoken. Lance Twitwell. What's up, bro?
Lance.
What's up, man? What's good?
It's a pleasure to be here with you fellas. Hey. Nice to meet everybody here. I don't know if I met everybody cordially, but you know what? This is the face you guys brought on. This is the price you pay.
Beard.
That is a good look.
Hell yeah,
hey,
that's a strong beard.
Hey, I just want to say, you know, not trying to be biased, but this is Lance's second appearance at the I.O.W. Sports Championship Weekend Edition. And, well, I mean, when you speak about the team that he roots for, I mean, it's, what's it, five? I'm not bragging, but anyway. 5 straight. 5. Anyway, hey, my man Lance, appreciate you hopping on.
I just want to shout that out there. This is our 4th NFC Championship. So, you know,
2 for me, and I'll take it. My whole life was misery.
Hey, Lance, go ahead, drop the handles where the people can find you at, my guy.
Yeah, man, you guys can find me. My personal handle on Twitter is @LanceTheSpoken. You can find my Twitter page for my actual weekly show on Twitter as well at The Spoken Pod. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook at The Spoken Podcast. It's really easy to do, man. We what we love to do at The Spoken is we talk. I mean, obviously it's Chiefs heavy there, Chiefs centric, but the cool thing about it is we like to keep ourselves very versatile. It's like a lot of NBA, MMA, generally NFL, MLB a little bit. We have basically a platform for opportunity, man. It's equal opportunity for everybody. But yeah, I mean, make no mistake about it. The only reason, I mean, Lamar and I have even known each other is because of Chiefs football. So it's a fun thing I've been doing for 12 years now. It's been working on year 13. It's been an absolute blast, man. I absolutely love it. And again, thank you guys for having me on.
No problem, man. No problem.
Nah, no doubt. So Lance, your take on this NFC Championship game between the Eagles and the 49ers.
Yeah, so I told Lamar, and obviously Lamar follows the stuff I do on The Spoke, and I said from the beginning of the year, the 49ers to me are easily it was the easy pick in the NFC, not just because the NFC is a light conference in comparison to the AFC, but because of the fact the 49ers are the most complete team in football. And they're so complete that it does not even matter which quarterback they play. Now, Brock Purdy, to his credit, has played pretty well, but the point about it is that it's the Shanahan system. It doesn't fail. You can make Jimmy Garoppolo into a Super Bowl contending quarterback. That's how good that system is. And so Brock Purdy, it shouldn't shock anybody he's playing as well as he had. But even Kyle Shanahan knew that he had to go and get himself a big swing at quarterback. That's why they traded 3 first-round picks to go get Trey Lance. That was a heavy swing. Mm-hmm. And they knew that they needed to up their quarterback play if they wanted to beat Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. So I was I was big on this team from the jump. I thought they had the most complete team, like I said. The Eagles are a team that shocked me. I did have them winning the NFC East. I did. I thought they were the best team in the division. I was right about that. But I didn't have them 14-3, and I didn't have Jalen Hurts taking this big of a step yet. I've always liked him. I thought he had insane talent in college. I hated the way things ended in Alabama. But I always believed in this kid, and I thought if he got in the right system, things could really work out for him in the NFL, because we've seen the transition of NFL teams trying to make players fit their schemes to now fitting the scheme around the player. And I think that was going to help guys like Jalen Hurts, and it has. He's popped. He's been an MVP candidate all year, and he deserves all the credit he's gotten. The problem, though, is I think the 49ers match up really well with the Eagles in this game. Biggest reason why is because we all know the Eagles are a team that predicate their offense on the run game, the play action, and that is something the 49ers are fantastic at stopping. If I'm not mistaken, I think they're either first or second in the league in stopping the run. And since the Chiefs beat the living hell out of them about 11, 12 weeks ago, the 49ers have not only lost, they've been dominating their opposition, giving up about 16 points per game. They've beaten, I think, 8 different opponents by double digits, and it just looks easy for this team. And I'm not trying to disrespect the Eagles because they deserve to be in this dance. This is a legitimate team. They are not a fraud by any measure. Like the Vikings, we've seen fraudulent teams in the playoffs. They are not one of them. But
excuse me, hold on. You mentioned the Vikings. Fuck her cousin.
Vikings are absolute frauds. I'll say that right now. You make games look like big. I'm just saying. But
So
yeah, man,
I
think that this is going to come down to the turnover battle, and we've seen the Eagles in big games against tough defenses turn the ball over a lot. Ironically, against the Commanders, we saw that against the Cowboys. I think that's what's going to happen again. This might be a close one, but I very confidently will pick the 49ers in this matchup.
I just want to say,
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say, there was a lot of turnovers in the second games against the Cowboys with our backup quarterback. He's not playing this week, so we're not worried about that. I don't think that the 49ers are the most complete team. Their secondary cannot hold a straw to my secondary. My linebacker group can't hold a straw to theirs either. So there is a dump off there. But I will say this, man. I appreciate you, Big Mike, for picking us, and I appreciate everybody else for not picking us. Because I don't know if I made it clear when I came on, but no one likes us, and we don't care. We love it. So please, if you start picking against us, if you start picking for us, that's when I get nervous.
I just wonder if from a Chiefs perspective, you're aiming for the 49ers to make it to the big one because of that beatdown that you gave us 12 weeks ago. Do you feel like you've got our number? Is that why you're aiming that way?
Is that for me?
Yeah. Any of the Chiefs guys? I mean,
so the question is, do I feel confident because of the beatdown we gave you guys?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Are you kidding me?
Look,
nobody beating the 49ers like that unless it's the Chiefs. And they made
Tanner, jump in here.
Yeah.
This is I mean, think about what happened too. 2019 Tampa Bay, we go in, we crush Tampa Bay. Then Tampa Bay comes back out with our third, fourth string free agents and offensive line that's all mixed up in the Super Bowl and get beat. I don't think it'll be the same thing this time around with the 49ers. I think the 49ers, we win that game in the Super Bowl. Despite, you had Jimmy G, right? You had first Christian McCaffrey right there, first game or second game or whatever. Jimmy G was quarterback. This is a different 49ers offense. It'll be a lot closer, but I think the Chiefs still prevail, even if 49ers and Chiefs go out of the Super Bowl. It ain't like Tampa Bay.
Hold on.
I mean, y'all talking about
what?
You're all shitty. You got to get there, right?
Like both of y'all are already there. Neither one of you even there.
You already coming to the Super Bowl over us. You guys got smoked by Cincy.
Right, yes, we have to bang us. I'm just saying, if the Chiefs go to the Super Bowl,
Mahomes got a high ankle sprain. Come on now.
He's out jogging. What do you want from him? Hey, New Year.
Was it Burrowhead Stadium? Am I hearing you?
Burrowhead
Stadium.
Yeah.
And all you want.
Hey, Tanner, real quick, give me just a quick take on this NFC Championship game, and then we'll head over to the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, so I looked at this last night here, looking at the past, through the season here. Since Purdy came in to that offense, there has been one close game, one score game, I believe, in like the last 8 games versus Philly. Granted, they've been hurt, kind of banged up, but Philly played in a lot of close, quite a few close games for what their record should be. They know how to grind it out. Purdy's shown also in the playoffs that he knows how to come back when down. He knows how to take that offense to that next level. I like the 49ers. I'm rooting for the Kelsey Bowl. Like, that's my route, but my gut says the 49ers win this game just because their defense is more efficient and their offense, it's just, I think, tremendous right now with Purdy behind them. Jimmy G comes in and starts. If Jimmy G comes back, it's over. It's over. Just call it, pack it up, and leave.
Give the man a clipboard, put him on the sideline. Do not give that man a
send him out. Send him home.
So the team with the most sacks in the regular season that was leading the league also in turnovers until 3 of their better defensive players got hurt is not going to be able to at least slow down Brock Purdy. Is what I hear.
No,
you guys
it's
say.
it's gonna be a defensive game, right? I mean, it's not gonna be a
I'm just asking
50-50
to
game.
understand.
Yeah, I mean, 49ers are seventh best, right? That's not that far apart. It really isn't in the stats world. So I feel like this is gonna be a very defense heavy game. Obviously, the points won't score, but I still think that the 49ers will move the ball possibly a little better, just for the fact that they got that extra weapon with Debo in the backfield, and Ayuk can be in the backfield.
You mean the injured Debo?
Running the balls.
He's still Debo, man. Still Debo. I ain't worried about him.
He let the same Debo last week.
I ain't worried about it for him. So I'm rooting for the Kelsey Bowl, but I just don't see it happening.
I don't care if it's the Kelsey Bowl. I don't care if it's Bureau against. I don't care if it's the SEC Bowl. I don't care what the bowl is. I'm just looking for one team to get there, and whoever wants to come with us, let's go.
I love it.
Hey, Detroit Mel, go ahead. Who you picking, big homie?
I don't know, man. I like the Eagles. No, they that blue collar tough team. They grind it out. They can win. I think they can win. A tough close game. I think they can win a blowout game because I like the way Hurts been playing, man. Hurts been really impressed me because I've been dogging Hurts from the beginning of this season, and he's been really impressing me the way he's been doing his leadership, how he's been stepping up and doing things. Then on the other hand, I'm looking at the 49ers, and I'm like, defense, pretty good defense. I think Debo, even though he's hurt, I think he's like my man said, Debo, man, he's the X factor because you can use him in so many different ways. He can just be a receiver, he can be a running back. You just use them in so many different ways. So I think when it comes down to it, for some reason, I'm leaning towards the Eagles, man. I'm just leaning towards the Eagles, man. I don't know why. I just lean towards the Eagles because I think if you put these two teams side by side, I think they're kind of even in most ways, except for quarterback. And I think that I'll get that edge to Hurts.
You're taking all my shit.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like what Purdy been doing. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to take nothing away from what he's been doing. But this is, as you go further in the playoffs, the games get tighter and tighter and harder. And, if you're looking at that and you putting them two teams together, I got to lean more towards Hurts because of the experience and I think he's a better quarterback. So that's why I'm picking the Eagles.
I think you're right. I mean, even without my rose-tinted glasses and my 49ers hat on, it's when you weigh it up and you put them side by side, they match up so well. But that difference, that quarterback difference, and the quarterback is the most important.
Yeah.
We all know that.
Yes.
That's where and
that's why that's my
advantage
boy
as well. It's like.
Hey, for real. And that's why me and Mel, we've been so great at what we do on our shows because sometimes when we disagree, it creates good content. But when we agree, it's like it's magic because he took everything that I was going to say. Because look, at the end of the day, this is a quarterback league. It's about the quarterback. It has to. At the end of the day, if your quarterback cannot make plays, despite the deficiencies of your teams, and to add to the greatness of your teams,
right?
You don't win championships,
right?
Period. I like Jalen Hurts over Brock Purdy. I no disrespect to Brock Purdy,
right? Oh yeah,
but Jalen Hurts, for me, Jalen Hurts has a certain type of leadership, and dare I say, on the unfortunate anniversary of one of my favorite athletes of all time, Jalen Hurts has a damn Mamba mentality.
I'm a little concerned, man. You're like 4-4 here. I'm a little concerned.
Bro,
I'm just putting facts, dog.
Bro, I'm with you, man. Look, I'm a Lions fan, bro. So this year they've been getting a lot of hype, and that's been scaring me. You know what I'm saying, for what's gonna happen next year. So I'm like, everybody's gonna be good next year. I'm like, I don't know, man. Too many people saying that. So I kind of feel that. I kind of feel you. I like when we was underdogs. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have to do too much.
Look, like I said, I'm a Cleveland fan. You remember when they said Dallas wasn't the America's team no more, and Cleveland's America's team, and look what the hell happened to that shit.
Right.
Absolutely.
That was bad.
They trash can. They pulled that dumpster out and just tossed us right in
it. Cleveland and Detroit, I think, are going to be solid teams next year. They're going to be in the playoff, and I think just based on what they were able to
One
do
of
this
those
year.
teams will be.
Yeah, at least one of them. I think both of them will be in that. Now,
I'm sorry, Big Mike. I don't think it's you guys with that quarterback who looks rusty as hell.
Yeah, but he don't have. He gonna have some time to kind of get it together, and then you going to training camp again with the team, complete team. I think he might get it together.
Yeah, I think
It's
he'll be
division.
fine next year.
To me, it's a division. Look, you got the Bengals, you got Pittsburgh, and then you got Baltimore. Depending on Lamar and what he decides, but it's our division that really would keep us out. I think.
That makes sense.
All right, well, let's move. Let's move.
Go ahead.
I think this is really, truly, all jokes aside, a 50-50 game. I think either team could win this game between the Eagles and the 49ers.
Right.
I don't see a blowout either way. I see somebody maybe getting the turnover. Whoever wins the turnover battle to me, whoever can run the ball the best, control the time of the clock, and win the turnover battle, I think is who's going to win this game. I'm hoping Purdy gives us one and we don't give one back. If we get one, I hope he gives us two. Or the team gives us two. So I think that's going to be the difference in the game. But I think these are two really good teams. I think for at least the last 12 to 13 weeks, these have been the two best teams in the NFL. Well, in the NFC, excuse me. I don't no disrespect to the AFC, but in the NFC. And us colliding for the championship makes sense.
I have to agree. I mean, it's been a collision course between these two teams since about weeks. As you say, week 8, week 9. Everyone else has kind of fallen by the wayside. It's just like it's the perfect game for the NFL Network. This is the two teams they wanted. This is kind of a throwback kind of NFC Championship game from like late 90s when it was the two, the behemoths of the NFC would smash against each other and then almost fall into a win in the Super Bowl because the AFC back then was, it wasn't great. Sorry, Black Story, because we'd get beaten up in the NFC Championship game, fall into Super Bowl and play the Bengals or play the Chargers or play the Broncos, and it'd be like, yeah, whatever, we didn't because you win that NFC Championship game and you win the AFC and you win the whole lot. I think the NFC's kind of getting back there, and some of those bigger teams are coming through, and I think this one is kind of one of those NFC Championship games that feels like it's going to be so close. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be an arm wrestle. It's two strong defenses against each other. It's not offense against defense. It's old school in the trenches kind of football. And it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be a 38-34 blowout. It's going to be all over the air. It's going to be one of those 15-12 edge of your seat, no nails left, totally stressed until the last minute kind of thing. Much like the Dallas game was, Eagles game, you kind of blew out the Giants, but everyone knew you were going to do that. But I think it's just going to be one of those. And
no offense, man.
But totally. No offense, but I meant that totally. Yeah, the take all
offense. We knew what was up. We knew what was up. Matt knew what was up.
Giants fans,
all Giants fans knew what was up. They was like, thank you. They was like, thank you, Daniel Jones. We got this far with you. But it's been a great season. Thank you. They knew what was up. Come on, we keep it real on this damn show. All right, let's move over to this AFC Championship game.
All right.
My man, Black Star DD Ray. You and Big Mike, y'all gonna be the representatives for the Cincinnati Bengals. Go ahead and give what was y'all take on the season for the Cincinnati Bengals?
I'm gonna start in the offseason. I thought it was about to be the greatest offseason of my life. Like, we're finally favorites. Like, we finally, and all I hear is Buffalo. Oh, Buffalo barely lost to the Chiefs. We beat them. So coming into this offseason, it was already a thing like hearing about Buffalo. And then we start 0-2. Joe Burris has the appendix surgery. The offensive line is brand new. And things are kind of going slow. And then it picks up. And then on Halloween night, the Cleveland Browns dog walked us. And I thought it was it. And it just kind of kept going. And Jamar Chase is hurt. And T. Higgins is hurt. And I see the defense that doesn't have a lot of stars, but they play so hard together and play so well together. It felt great. The end of the year finally got here, get past the Ravens, and then to beat those Bills. And then to really beat the Bills. Let them know that they don't belong. It's us and KC in the AFC. I'm just ready for it, man. People tell me I don't know how to act. I don't know how to act. I'm about to be 30. and this is the best football years I've ever had. The Eagles got Super Bowls. The Niners got about 17 Super Bowls. The Chiefs got Super Bowls. Y'all stop being selfish. It's our turn.
Big Mike, how you feel about the Cincinnati? Yeah. Hey, how's the feel in Ohio right now in the atmosphere with the Cincinnati Bengals in Ohio? How's the atmosphere right now?
Listen, like I said, I moved from Cleveland down here back in last March. So now when all this is coming around, it's crazy. It's literally electric around here. Because I go to the same bar. I go over there, just chill, just crazy. This last game was nuts, just people going nuts. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, all right, man, this is something else.
We've been waiting.
This is something else. Like that KC game. I mean, look, this goes all the way back to last playoffs. When they beat KC, they got in there. Dude, you hear down here, oh, well, we were in the Super Bowl. We should have won it. That play with Chase, that should have been a flag. Donald with the offense, offside, all this shit. They still talking about that. All right, I give you that. Here's where I started this season. It started, look, you had 2 losses right away. Couldn't make a damn kick against Pittsburgh. Lost.
Yeah. Right.
All right. Then you go up against Cooper fucking Rush. And you lose.
He was 5-1 this year or something like that.
It doesn't matter. That's Cooper.
These backup quarterbacks. These backup
I'm laughing
quarterbacks
at these
this year have been
fans
good.
because I'm like, holy shit, you 0-2. This is about to fall apart for y'all right now. Then boom, they go, and then comes Halloween. Then the Browns come out and smoke them. Now they're really thinking like, what's happening? You go through the injuries, Chase, Higgins. Then they don't lose. They go to the Chiefs game. They dog walk the Chiefs, and they say, all right, we'll see you again because here we are. You're going to see him again. And now they wanted this. This wasn't something that was, we don't want to see them. We want Buffalo. Well, guess what? They had Buffalo. They beat the hell out of them too. Now they about to, here we are. High ankle sprain on Mahomes. All right. He say he jogging around. That's cool. You jog around when you get an adrenaline shot in you. You jog around when you get that shot in you to make the pain go away. He's going to jog around all he wants. The Jags should have beat that squad. If that defensive coordinator would have been smart enough to say, I'm going to pressure from the right side, make him roll to the right, have to throw off that right foot and cross body throw, he's going to hurt even more because he was already limping around, and he's going to throw interceptions because he's not going to have enough on that arm. Oh, no, he didn't do none of that shit. Just let Mahomes throw 14 times to Kelsey and let Kelsey dog walk him down the field all damn time. All right, so now the Bengals get him. Bengals got some offensive line problems. 2 of them are questionable to come back. That'll strengthen it up. That means Burrow, the only thing that man does wrong, the only complaint I got against him is he doesn't know how to throw the ball away. He'll run side to side, ready to make a play and not throw it away. He'll take the sack.
He runs?
Yeah. And he'll run over there. You don't run down the field.
Hey, he is one slippery son of a gun. He is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, he is.
Chris Jones.
That's Chris Jones.
It's like he's oiled up.
Doubled every time.
Oiled up. You just sliding right off him. And then, like my man over here said, look, that defense is cohesive. They're not superstars. You got Hubbard, you got Hendrickson, you got Bates, who's going to get paid, and that man better get paid because he took them to the Super Bowl last year, and he's done magical things this year for them. They either pay him or shit. The Browns better go pay him or somebody's going to give him that damn money. He deserves all that money. You got Eli Apple trying to bring his career back. All right, he's doing his thing. Their other star corner goes down, but that defense is lit shit up. It's did its job.
Hey, can we be real about Eli Apple? He's still
you about to make me say I'm gonna say
toasted real quick. And so I mean, I know Eli is confident in himself. He chirp a lot, but you more times than not, Eli, you get burnt. You real toasty sometimes. Real quick.
But see, he needs that help. Yeah. He needs Bates to cross behind him so he knows. I got the pig hitter. He got the butter behind him. That way he can't. All right, I might be toast, but the butter coming. But I really believe Cincinnati got this game.
Okay, I like that, Big Mike. Confident in the Bengals. Is it all that Ohio love that y'all got over there? Black Star DD Ray. Obviously, I know who you're going for. But answer this for me real quick.
Stop, Matt. Stop.
All that. What with the NFL? You know, obviously they had to sell tickets to the supposedly AFC Championship game in Atlanta,
Disrespectful.
and obviously Joe Mixon and all them. On a level 1 to 10, what was the level of disrespect that was right there?
Shit, 100.
Yeah, 100. Go up even more. But it's like Joe
that was
said,
off the scale disrespectful.
People have flights to Atlanta. People have flights booked. People got lives, and they're gonna do this to them. Like that, it's the league's fault that we have to come in and clean that up. So now people are
bettors. How many bettors bet on that? Said, "Oh man, the NFL." Look, the NFL. It literally says National Football League Entertainment. It's like, again, like wrestling. So they pre-do some shit. They tried to do that here, and a lot of people took that money, put it right on Bills, Chiefs, and look what happened. Now they lost. Sitting at home like, oh,
better get the refunds.
And I want to say
what Joe say, better get the refunds.
On Mahomes' ankle, it makes me more scared than ever. Because coming into the season, I said that Patrick Mahomes without Tyreek was going to have the best year of his career. And I thought he did watching. I thought Mahomes leveled up mentally. And all those things this year. So him, like, I need people to stop doubting Patrick Mahomes. I don't want that beast angry. I need people to just chill out on Patrick. Let him
tell him to please stop. Don't anger the bear. Don't anger the angry bear. Please don't wake him up. Please don't.
Let him sleep.
All right, so let's flip this over to the Chiefs side. My man Tanner, man, give us a breakdown of the 2022-2023 Kansas City Chiefs season.
What a year. By the way, did you guys know there's this guy named Justin Watson, a fifth string, walking in, like not even supposed to make the team, that was a big impact for this team? Mm-hmm. That's what Mahomes does, right? So the big deal, Tyreek gone, whatever. It was a lot of, hype up about Tyreek being one of the 1-2 punch with Mahomes here. But we've seen it before, with Mahomes, so that he can, basically escalate the skill of his receiving core. DeMarcus Robinson, right? Another guy that he made look good enough to get at least a couple roster spots this year. So Chiefs going in, honestly, they did nothing out of character this year, really. Taking down teams. I mean, we lost some close games, which I kind of expected. The Bills, the Bengals. I really wanted that Bengals win. It was on my birthday, but we did not get that. So that was really a bum.
Burn the tape on the Colts game. Burn the tape.
I'm not even talking about that Colts game because that was a win until the ref got mad about something. So it's not even around. I'm not even worried about the Colts game. Outside of that, whatever that game was that happened, this Mahomes out here throwing over 5,000 yards, killing it in touchdowns. The guy's still making plays that people don't make plays normally on, extends the plays. Doesn't matter on Clyde, right? Clyde, we were kind of expecting. He kind of did catch fire a little bit early in the season, but we all know it wasn't going to last with that here. And McKinnon doing what McKinnon does 2 years in a row now, being such a great receiving back there, taking in that big role. Look, Chiefs are here. Bengals are on an 8-game win streak. All streaks got to fall. 10. All streaks got to fall. If you ever bet, go to play roulette, play some baccarat. All those streaks eventually go down. It's time for a new one. It's a new year. It's a new result. That's all I'm going to say. New year, new result.
Yeah, Bengals win the Super Bowl. I know. Hey, listen,
that would be a new result.
Bengals Niners. Listen, the Bengals gonna get their payback from the '80s.
Finally, 2 times in the '80s too.
Oh man,
somebody gonna do the icky shuffle.
We working now. We don't.
Hey, no, don't do the icky shuffle. Nobody do it. That'll be like the voodoo to your own demise. Don't do it. All right, my man. Now, obviously, I rock with you. I watch a lot of your content, and you were one of the first people to tell us about the new year, right? New year, new number 10. you was one of the first people to tell us about Isaiah Pacheco. Tell us about the impact that this young man has had. Another 7th rounder, just so you didn't know, about the impact that he has had on this offense that was already as good.
Yeah, so Isaiah Pacheco was a guy that we saw in training camp very early on. There was a guy that we saw in the draft, was the fastest running back in this class, but just didn't really have a lot of football prowess to his game just yet. And so that was kind of a, throw it against the wall, see what it becomes. And if anybody can turn the fastest guy at his position into something in an offensive scheme, it's going to be Andy Reid. And you saw from day one. I was out there at training camp pretty much every single day, and you saw him stand out from the rest. I mean, I'm the biggest Clyde defender. I still, to this day, felt like that was a decent pick, even though the running back position isn't as valuable as it was maybe 10, 15 years ago in certain contexts. But I liked the pick because I felt he matched the offense. But Jerick McKinnon and Isaiah Pacheco become exactly what Patrick Mahomes needed, especially in a season when they lost a prolific superstar talent like Tyreek Hill in this offseason. That would break most offenses. But because of what Pacheco has brought, the grit, the talent, the speed, and what's awesome is the speed is one of the last things I look at now when it comes to him. I see the aggressiveness. I see a Marion Barber style of running back in this kid, where he just is so pissed off when he runs the ball that he looks fast, but it's the anger, it's the passion behind what he's doing. You can tell this kid pays attention in film study. You can always tell when young players are paying attention to what goes on in the film room, and you see it in this kid. You see the way he reads his blockers. You see the way, and now his pass pro isn't there yet, but that just comes with time. You have to experience that in the NFL. You have to get your cuts in. But I love what this kid is. He's a difference maker, and I've been saying since I said before the season started, by week 11 he will be the running back 1, and week 10 he became running back 1. So I was 1 week a little too far off. I doubted the guy, I guess. But now he's brought an edge to this team they haven't had since Kareem Hunt. I'm not saying he's as good as Kareem Hunt, because Kareem Hunt was lethal out of the backfield catching the ball. Pacheco isn't there yet. But once he is, I already have the name titled. It's Pacheco down, baby. Because once he gets that ball back down, it's on. It's on.
Right there. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Mark it.
Matt,
Take your receipts there, man. Take your receipts on that.
Hey, Lance, you better go ahead and trademark it right now.
I already got the LLC, baby. I already got.
Yeah, get your coins, dog. Get your coins, dog. Tanner, let me ask you this. Now, the kingdom gets very upset sometimes. Sometimes they root for the guy. 3 losses, 3 points each game, and it really came down to defensive scheme. So give me some optimism on why Spags is going to get it right this damn time.
The confidence in the that defensive line and the linebackers coming into play, right? That's just something we struggled all season long until that last few games where we really needed that bump. Get the pressure, right? Pressure is going to be all key against this Bengals team. We can never get pressure. Chris Jones can't even get up the middle to Joe Burrow during this Bengals game. This is where it all comes together here. His schemes has to be different. We're going to have Snead come off the side for multiple blitzes. You're probably going to see somebody else, maybe a Cook, come into play too in this. So it's all about pressure here, right? Spags has to get this together. This is a must. You have to have multiple QB pressures. And by the way, Playoff Frank is here. I don't know if you saw him last week, but Playoff Frank.
I 100% agree with you, Tanner. It's all about pressure. Because, again, with that offensive line being decimated right now, if those two guys don't come back, and they're still kind of hurt, Kappa and
it doesn't matter, Mike. I don't know if you remember last year, all 3 games, your line was either sucked for 2 of those games, right? They were awful. That was after Joe Burrow got sacked 7 times, and we couldn't even get pressure on him. And then the one during the regular season, I think you still had 1 or 2 guys out. The Bengals did, and we still couldn't get pressure on him. Like this is where it all comes down for Spags.
Hey, I love how you say pressure on Joe Burrow. I love how you say it's
my bad. My bad.
Highly good. You feel like it's my team.
Do you feel like a winner now? Do you feel like a winner now?
Exactly.
I wanted to add to that, Lamar, actually, because
go ahead, Lance. Go ahead.
Yeah. So this is something that I wanted to bring up. That's the most important part of this entire game. As we all know, we all watch TV, we all listen to radio. The emphasis has been on Joe Burrow versus Patrick Mahomes versus Joe Burrow. This game's not going to come down to those two. because those guys are going to bring it. We all know those are the two best quarterbacks in football in the NFL right now. So that's not going to be the emphasis, even though that is what takes the headline. What's going to be the headline is what Matt's talking about and what we've been talking about, pressure. Now, I don't know if you guys knew this stat, but this season, the Bengals are 0-3 when Joe Burrow is sacked 5 or more times this season. The Chiefs have 6 games this season when they've had 5 or more sacks. So this is something that this is the absolute emphasis of this game. If the Chiefs do not get Joe Burrow down on the ground, I'm not talking about every once in a while getting a hit here and there. If they don't sack Joe Burrow in this game, the Bengals are going to win this game. Now, the difference between last season and this season when it comes to the AFC, because as Matt was alluding to, you had the Titans sack him, Joe Burrow 9 times. But why did they win that game? Because Ryan Tannehill became Ronald's turnover because he threw 3 interceptions in that game. I think the first throw of the game was a freaking turnover. So that game was just weird in itself. Any other quarterback was playing for the Titans win that game. But to the credit of the Bengals, they fought. They got through it, and they got a game-winning field goal. And then they went to the AFC Championship and beat the juggernaut Chiefs, which no one expected, especially when they were down 21-3 at that point. The difference is if you look at this defense now for the Chiefs and the defense last year, the Chiefs were 29th in sacks last season with only 31. This season they had 55, and they were second overall behind the Eagles, who had 15 more, which is unbelievable. But the difference is Joe Cullen. I know we want to give Spags a lot of credit for being the DC, but let's give some credit to the defensive line coach that came from the Jaguars this offseason, who's changed the infrastructure of this defense. George Karlaftis, the rookie running edge rusher, became a great pass rusher at the tail end of the season. Carlos Dunlap is a sprinkled-in veteran who's just sitting on his ass.
Hey, Lance.
August and September, practically came and joined the team, and now he's got some vengeance on his hands because who did he get drafted by? The motherfucking Bengals. So here we are, a team that has all the reason in the world to go after Joe Burrow with a broke-down offensive line. Even if Kappa ends up playing, that man's going to be at 60% at best. So there is no excuse in the world why Chris Jones, why George Karlaftis, Carlos Dunlap, and the guys and the fellas back there aren't getting to him all game long, because if they don't, it don't matter. Patrick Mahomes can go out there and have an awesome game, guys. It ain't going to matter if they're not getting Joe down, because he's got too many weapons, and he's too damn good to let him sit clean in a pocket.
And I think with both sides, it's pressure. I love the points about pressure, but not blitzing, because both of these quarterbacks are so cerebral before the snap.
Correct.
If you're sending that linebacker, if that safety's coming down, Burrow, Mahomes, they both trust their guys. All their receivers, they're going to trust in the man-to-man, one-on-one matchup, especially Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
So I definitely agree. Chris Jones should have got Defensive Player of the Year votes this year. His year was ridiculous.
Hassan Reddick should have as well, while we're talking about Defensive Player of the
Year. Hey, Lance, you bring up a good point, because you give credit to the D-line coach that came from Jacksonville. It's funny that you say that. You see the Chiefs go upwards in sacks, and then you saw the Jaguars, ironically, decline in sacks. Just want to throw that in there. But anyway, I want to bring Cool. In here real quick. Give me your breakdown of this AFC Championship game.
So Lance stole a lot of my thunder too, but that's okay. I'm able to pivot on the moment.
Stole everybody's thunder.
But yeah, the thing is, I do feel like obviously the way that you're going to beat Joe Burrow is you have to give him pressure. You have to make him feel you all game. That's the problem that Cincinnati has had. I think that the Chiefs are going to be able to get to him a little bit more. And I'm not saying the Chiefs have the greatest line in the world, but I think it's better than the Bengals line. So I think Mahomes, while he's going to be limited with the ankle injury, let's be honest, he's not going to be 100%. He may be able to move at times when he's needed, because they're going to shoot him up, wrap him up, and do whatever they need to get him out there on the field. But I think that his ability to have a little bit better of a pocket, for him to be a little bit more confident in his line, giving him time, I think that's going to be the difference in a close game. A lot of people are saying blowout one way or the other. I think another close game. I think we're going to have a close game here. Now, I wouldn't mind playing Cincinnati if we get to the Super Bowl, because Eli Apple's been running his mouth, and I would like to shut him up. And unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to shut him up in the regular season. So this would be a great opportunity for us to give him a huge amount of throw and shove it down his throat.
Y'all need to leave our Pat Bev alone. That's our Pat Bev.
Eli Apple,
Black Air Force persona.
Eli Apple is the Trey Diggs of the AFC.
Wow. Woo! I hadn't heard that one yet.
I think Apple more like the Nnamdi Asuma when he was with the Eagles. Just a slice of it.
Yes. Right after he left the Raiders, he went over there.
No. He did the Gordon Haywood. He finessed the Eagles, got a nice little check, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna slide on out." Gary, hey Gary,
you got it.
Slide on in here. Slide in here and give us your take on the AFC Championship game.
Yeah. From an outside perspective, you kind of weigh it up, and you think the Bengals defense kind of is a little bit stronger than the Chiefs defense. Chiefs have kind of been, they as Lance said, they handed us our backside. They've been beat down on people, but I just feel that their defense is weak, and I think they can be got at if Burrow can stay up. I mean, it's an all. There's lots of ifs and buts on this one. I think you're right. It's in the trenches. If Burrow can not get put down on the grass too much, then the Chiefs really have to worry, because he can cut you open and he can carve that secondary. I think you're a little weak there. I think if they can get their run game going, if they can get Mixon going, then I think the Chiefs are in for a really long day. And that's.
I'm glad somebody finally brought up Mixon. Come on.
Everyone's just kind of skated over him, and I think the Bengals need to
talk to everybody else. I mean, Lance already took like 2/3 of the points. I want at least
I'm scrambling around trying to find something to talk about.
He got 100 yards against Bills, so that's crazy.
And Samaje Perine started to come back last year. It wasn't even Joe Mixon. It was Samaje on that 43-yard catch and run that started everything.
So, I mean, there are a lot of things that the Bengals have to do well to get this game and get over the hump here. And it's weird because the Chiefs, you don't think the Chiefs, there's not so much that the Chiefs have to do, because the Chiefs are the Chiefs, and they got Mahomes and they got Kelsey and they've got that connection. The Chiefs can almost, if the Bengals don't turn up and the Bengals don't do everything right, the Chiefs will roll them. I think, and it's that sort of difference that the Chiefs can probably do it without having to extend themselves too far. And I think the Bengals have to turn up, and every single player on the Bengals side has to have that game to get past the Chiefs. And I think,
let's be real. The Bengals have been the cleaner team in these three matchups.
Yeah.
They've been the team that makes the one fewer mistake, because the Chiefs in all three games had a lead in the fourth quarter. Two of them were over 15 points. So it was mistakes the Chiefs did. I mean, Patrick Mahomes had his single worst second half of his career in the AFC Championship last year. That is why the Chiefs lost that game. And if we look at that first half, the final play of that drive, they wanted to take matters in their own hands and throw that little arrow screen to Tyreek Hill that ran the clock out when Jerick McKinnon literally walked into the end zone. He had the ball. The Chiefs, that's a wrap. That game's a wrap, man. So the Chiefs made too many mistakes in these last three games. Travis Kelce putting the ball on the ground in this game in the middle of the season this year. Chiefs are driving in that game with the lead with, I think, 5.5 minutes to go in the game. The Chiefs are going to win that game. They go down that field. So the Bengals have just been a smarter team. I mean, Lou, their defensive coordinator, Lou Anamiro, or how you say his last name. Yeah, Mr. Soprano, however you say his name. That man makes second-half adjustments out the ass, dude. And I know Peyton Manning tried to downplay that on the Manning cast, but it's a real thing with the Bengals, because they've been an incredible lockdown defense in the second half. And it was funny is the Bengals are a defense that don't get to the quarterback. They're 29th in the league in sacks. They don't get pressure on the quarterback. They have the recipe for disaster with Patrick Mahomes, and it's that drop 8 defense. Hopefully, the fourth time's a charm, and the Chiefs understand how to beat that defense finally, because it's beatable. It's just all about not making the mistakes, man, and that's what the Chiefs got to do in this game.
Not forcing it.
Yeah. All it takes is one moment, one great moment.
Right.
You know where I was going with it.
Just to confirm this, are the Bengals playing in white with just the orange helmets in the snow again? Or is that kind of...
Cheating again.
You're playing in camouflage again, huh?
Joe Burrow could see him.
Hey, just as long as the Chiefs stay away from the all red. Stay away from the all red. Please don't put them all red on.
Right.
Please don't. That shit is a curse to the damn Chiefs every time they put the all red on. Please don't wear it.
Not just that.
That is ugly.
Oh my God. Don't ever do that, bro. That's terrible.
Tanner, let me ask you this. I'm worried a little bit about Joe Mixon. Because you saw Travis Etienne actually had a solid game last week. And quite honestly, I think if the Jaguars probably would have implemented him just a little bit more, it probably wouldn't. I'm not saying they would have won the game, but probably been a closer result. How confident are you on this rush defense going into this game?
For rushing yards against per game, we're 8th best right there. I'm not overly concerned about this. We have the ability to stop them. Our linebackers and Chenal coming in also at times to keep it fresh here. Like those guys attack. I'm not worried about Joe Mixon. I think I'll be more worried about Joe Mixon on the receiving aspect. But as far as from a running aspect, I'm not overly concerned on this here. Because I know we're going to be really forced on, Joe Burrow, probably Jamar Chase and T. Higgins combo. But I just feel like our linebacking core can contain that Joe Mixon. I don't think they're going to get that big break that they've gotten in the past games for this here. And I mean, ETN got the reception for the big break. He also ran it pretty well at times through the jungle there. But I really do feel our linebacking core steps up this game here and takes care of Joe Mixon.
Yeah, honestly, Lamar, I'm more worried about Hayden Hurst than I am Joe Mixon because you saw what that man was doing to that Bills secondary, especially on third down, and that's something the Chiefs have struggled with on defense is third and longs. For some damn reason, they just love to get charitable on third and longs, man. And Hayden Hurst is that kind of guy that can break open a game and just be that frustrating menace that may not have a huge amount of catches and a huge amount of yards, but he just makes like 3 plays in a game. You're like, damn it, man. Those are the deciding factors. That's the guy that I'm worried about. And no offense to Joe Mixon. The dude's a baller. The dude's a good player. But he's not I don't think he's a guy that's going to put together back-to-back games of that magnitude. I think it's going to come down to matchups, and the Bills just had no answer for the run game whatsoever. And to Matt's point, the Chiefs' defense, one thing they can definitely hang their head on is getting pressure on the quarterback and stopping the run more times than not. So it's going to come down to those 3rd and 10s, 3rd and 11s. Joe Burrow maybe get an extra second in the pocket, and Hayden Hurst is wide open on a drag route, whatever it might be. That's the stuff I'm worried about.
I think P. Ryan's going to have a better game than Mixon. To be honest, I think
he very well could.
Mixon, because Mixon's more of a downhill runner. I mean, he can get his receptions, but P. Ryan's the one that'll go out there and catch the ball, and he's the one that'll be elusive more than Mixon will.
Yeah.
Heard. Black Star DD Ray, give me your biggest thing that's scaring you, not named Patrick Mahomes.
Well, then I'm gonna have to go Travis Kelce because that dude is literally uncoverable. And no. Give me another one. I'm gonna go. Hold on. Start over. Black Star DD Ray. Give me something that scares you that's not named Patrick Mahomes or Travis Kelce. Well, I'm gonna give 2 names. I'm gonna go with Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who is a big play waiting to happen, and our secondary is the type where it will give up that big play to the guy who's just really fast. We did it a bunch of times this year. And then Jet McKinnon, who has become like maybe the most explosive safety blanket I've ever seen. The way him and Mahomes are like always on the same wavelength of McKinnon is always in the right spot at the right time to maximize the yards. So I think those 2 on offense and on defense, obviously Chris Jones and that linebacking core that's been so good against the run. And just gotta hope that Butker can miss another one for us because he likes that. Harrison Butker has been good to us. He's been good to us. He's been really good to us. So.
Butker's going. Never mind. Anyway, jump in here real quick, man. What do you think? How this AFC Championship is going to gain? Give me your X factors.
So let me say this before I get into that. When I was sitting here thinking about the Chiefs and you kind of like look at the 2 teams. You look at the Chiefs going like Hank Strom and how they were like talked about then. And then they kind of went down season. Then, you look at when they got when they had Nigerian Nightmare and Thomas and brought in Montana, the hope started building back up. Then went down again. Then you get Alex Smith, the hope get there.
Oh, we well aware about all this.
I know you are. but then Mahomes come in, and it's like something magical about that Chiefs team. It's like it's something about that team that's magical. When you saw Mahomes take over, and you see him come in and win a Super Bowl, and every year they're a favorite. Then you look at Cincinnati, almost the same way. Cincinnati was like always, no, they're gonna lose. It's Cincinnati. And then the Boomer Esiason years, you know, 2 losses, and I think it was 81 and 88, you know, to the 49ers. And then they was just like nobody, you know, saying no name, nobody talked about it. Then you get all the way to now, we see Joe Burrow, you know, his first year hurt, didn't really play. Second year, it's like so magical, but still, they're not magical like the Chiefs. Now, about this year, it's just something about Cincinnati, man. You know, when you want to put your finger on, oh, this gonna take them out, they find a way to win. Just like look at the Buffalo game. Oh, they down 3 offensive linemen. Buffalo gonna win this game easily, hands down. They handled Buffalo like it was nothing. It's just something about the Bengals, man. It's something about them.
Well, me and Lance got receipts that was going to happen the same time, you know, until that unfortunate situation.
Right.
So
right.
And they show Von Miller is detrimental to that defense of Buffalo.
Right.
They can't get no pressure without Miller.
Right.
That's crazy.
But it's like Cincinnati finds a way to pull it out. No matter what the odds against, they find a way to pull it out. And it kind of reminds you of when the first year Pat Mahomes kind of took over and it was like magical about the Chiefs. That's why I see Cincinnati at now. They like reversing roles almost. And I just think that it's that magical part about Cincinnati that kind of made me lean towards Cincinnati in this game.
I'll respond to that though, because I agree. I think Joe Burrow is a very special player. We saw that in 2019, 2020 at LSU. Yes, he had maybe the most stacked college team ever. But that man was special, and the cigar he smoked after the game was proof of that. But then we see what he's done with this franchise that has been snake bitten. They've been, you know, they had Andy Dalton and Marvin Lewis all those years. They were winning 10, 12 games, couldn't win a playoff game. He is a difference maker. The only thing I'll say is this: is that I think what makes the Bengals feel special is they've been able to capitalize on other teams screwing up. If you look at the AFC Championship, no offense to the Bengals, they got to the Super Bowl, and I'm going to give them all the credit in the world. But as I just said about 10 minutes ago, the reason the Bengals were in the Super Bowl last year is because the Chiefs absolutely went nuclear on themselves. They literally shot themselves in the foot with a .357 Magnum and unloaded that bad boy on their foot. So that's why they were in the Super Bowl this year.
Got the pinky toe.
Yeah, exactly. They're pulling all the toes off, man. And then you look at the Bills. Look, Lamar, you know this, man. You've seen it. I never bought into the Bills at all this season because I thought they were a team that just did not have a true image or a true understanding or true direction of what they are as an offense. And I thought their defense was too far heavy on Von Miller, a 34-year-old pass rusher that's making money like a guy that's in his mid-20s. It's absurd what they gave him. And you saw what the Bengals did. The Bengals went in there with the depleted offensive line and exposed the Bills for what they are, which was frauds. They are frauds. And that's what happened. So, no offense to the Bengals. I'm not trying to take away from anything. They deserve to be here, just like we were talking about the Eagles about half hour ago. But the difference is the Bengals, the reason they feel special is because whenever an opportunity presents itself and another team shows blood, they just take advantage of it. Sometimes they're not the better team. They don't sometimes have the better quarterback in some of these matches over the last couple of years. But they do just enough just to capitalize on those little moments in time where a team goes cold or has a couple costly turnovers. And that's what separates them.
Yeah, and I give you that, but that's if you look at, you already got the fact that we don't know how Pat's going to play on the angle. You don't know, you know, and that could be that difference maker where they take advantage of that. That's why I kind of still lean towards Cincy in this game. It's so, and then one thing I know about the Chiefs, they play well, but throughout the game they open the door some kind of way. You know, it's just they happen to be such a good team they can overcome those things. And now you playing against a team whose MO is taking advantage of that. So that's why, you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm kind of like, I think Cincy might take this one.
And the injury is a legitimate concern. What I'll say real quick, and I'll hand it off because I know I'm taking all the time here.
Yeah, go ahead.
But here's the thing about that particular injury is that we saw just 3.5, 4 years ago him suffer the same exact injury. In fact, it was worse. It was a higher grade of a high ankle sprain. The very next week and the week following, the next 2 games that followed, Patrick Mahomes was averaging 409 yards, had 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions with a 131 quarterback rating. And he was on an absolute tear with one leg. And guess what? That was without Tyreek Hill and Eric Fisher as left tackle. So now he's doing this without Eric Fisher. He has a left tackle, might not be a great one at this point, but he actually has an offensive line that is shored up, and he has weapons that no.
Lance, tell us how you feel about Orlando Brown.
Oh, hey, and don't tell anybody, but McCole Hardman's practicing, so I'm just going to throw that.
Yeah, he is. It's healthy.
I think for me, one other thing that no one's mentioned yet, or maybe not mentioned in detail, motivation, right? Kansas City feels like an underdog because everybody's talking about how Cincinnati's owned them the last few times they played, and they kind of got to get over their hump. And you take the team of professional athletes, guys that go out here every week, they grind. They're as good as Kansas City is, and you basically tell them this other team's your daddy. That's extra motivation, man, right? You got guys like, look, I'm coming to bust somebody's hind parts. I wasn't going to use another word, but I'm going to use hind parts. And that can be that difference maker sometimes. That can make you a little bit more hungrier. You know, that can make you a little bit more just ready to do whatever it takes to get this win. It can make it feel like this is your Super Bowl because we need to win this game so bad. So I think that's another motivation that no one's mentioned for Kansas City.
Yep.
Right.
Love it.
And the Bengals are chirping too, right? Bengals are chirping too. So
I know Eli Apple. He's always.
They
need to change the Twitter logo to Eli Apple because he.
Eli busting his gums. That's about it.
Willie Pate said nothing impresses him about the Bengals offense. So the Chiefs are throwing it right back. They're throwing the disrespect right back. I think this is two teams that probably don't like each other, but they respect each other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Willie Gay jumped out there and said that. And look, my final breakdown. Oh yeah, nothing new. But just as long as he leaves the Hoover vacuums alone and keeps look, I'm just gonna obviously y'all know who I'm rooting for, but just as a podcaster, this is gonna be one of the toughest games to call a winner because it to me is like we said earlier, it comes down to quarterback play, and you got the absolute best. And I need everybody to stop trying to anoint Josh Allen so quick. Please. All right, let's stop trying to anoint Josh Allen so quick. This is in the AFC. This is it. Mahomes, Burrow. This is it. All right, that's where the conversation starts.
I appreciate
100%.
No, that's what I said. The AFC in the AFC.
Just in case nobody was listening, I'm glad you.
I said the AFC, but if I say NFL, we can have a conversation about that. Different time, different space. But no, look, this is what scares me for the Chiefs. Man, if you don't get to Burrow, Chris Jones has to have nightmares about like all the times he knew that he had him in his grasp and somehow Joe Burrow then slipped out. He has to have nightmares like that. He has to. So if Chris Jones, I need 2 sacks from you. That's it. That's minimal. That's it. That's all I need from you is 2. Set the tone. I need you to get one on the first drive to set the tone, and I need you to have your second one to shut the door. All right. That's it. 2. And then the key to victories for me for the Bengals is, let Mahomes, he's gonna get his. Whether it's 1 foot, 2 foot, no foot, he's gonna get his. All right.
Right.
It don't matter. You need to find a way to shut down 87, the greatest tight end in the game.
Yep.
If you let him eat and him and Mahomes get in the groove, it opens it up for everybody else. And then you got the block party. You don't want that. And then that Arrowhead crowd feeds into that. Bye-bye. Come on. You don't want that. All right. So those going to be my key to victories on that situation. Man, great show. We gonna wrap this up real quick.
Hey, Wildcard, I got one stat to throw out there for the Bengals.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Second best in the league, time of possession. What's the one way to beat Mahomes? And we've seen it before. Yeah, keep him down on the sideline. Second best time of possession team we're going against. So.
Yep. That's Tanner. That was nice. Hey, Tanner, go ahead, start us off. Let the people know where they can find you at, big dog.
Yeah, guys, find me at Whiskey Sports Podcast in the Sports Buffoons. And of course, always I'm on Let's Talk Sports Network as well. So,
all right. My man, Cool. Let the people know where they can find you at, my guy.
Eagles Elite Podcast. That's youtube.com/that Eagles Elite. PlayCallerSportsTalk.com /live. Sports Empire Network. Just Google it on YouTube or catch the page on Facebook, Twitter, whatever. On Twitter and on Facebook, Cool McCain. Instagram, Cool_McCain. I'm working on getting my Instagram game up. I get tied up in other stuff sometimes, but yeah, TikTok too. We coming.
Heard. My man, Black Star DD Ray. Let the people know where they can find you at, my guy.
Well, I'm a casual. Who these guys who have these podcasts, excellent people have let me in the chat today. But if you want to find me and discuss anything, man, Danny Ray Grissom on Facebook. Find me in the I.O.W. sports page, the best sports page on Facebook, by the way. And
appreciate you.
Other than that, all you got to do is yell "Who Dey" or "OH," and I'm gonna come running from somewhere.
Bet that. My man, Big Mike. Let them know where the people can find you at, my guy.
Hey, listen, at the Man Cave 8172 on YouTube, at the Man Cave 10 on Twitter and TikTok, the Man Cave Podcast on Facebook. But I mean, we're everywhere.
Bet that. And my man Lance, let the people know where they can find you at, my guy.
Yeah, hit us up on YouTube at The Spoken Podcast. Same on Twitter at The Spoken Pod. I'm at Lance The Spoken. You can find us on our live stream every single Saturday at 11 a.m. Central Time. We talk all sports all the time, but you better believe that at this time of year, you know what we're talking about. And this is exactly what we've been talking about here at the I.O.W. Network, man. I appreciate you guys having me on, man. This is an absolute blast. Whenever you guys need me, man, if I get a chance to hear a Browns fan like my guy Big Mike talk down at the Bengals when he has the third best quarterback in his own division, I'm here for it, baby.
I'll talk it all. Any team, basketball or football, I got it all.
Nah, man. Look, I love putting shows like this, and I want to thank all you gentlemen for joining us, because every year I this is what I intend to do, is just have just a form of podcasters and people that just love to talk football and get representatives from each team and every now and then pump your chest out, brag on your squad, and then but be realistic about the matchup that you got. And so, man, this was a fantastic show. Yeah. I'm glad all of y'all was able to join us. And me and Detroit Mail, even if y'all can't get both of us or one of us, y'all can always hit us up if y'all need somebody to help y'all with your show. Because like we said, man, we big on network. It's in the name of what we got, I.O.W. Sports Network. So again, appreciate this. And look,
right back at you.
Thank you, man.
Always.
Appreciate this.
For sure. Hey, catch us again Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll go back to our regular time. Me and Detroit Mail, the I.O.W. Sports Network. It's going to be back again on Monday. It's been real, y'all. Peace and love. I got a